Hello, good morning everyone. I hope I am audible. Welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. Welcome to our daily Hindu newspaper analysis. Good morning everyone. Yes, I am audible, right? Okay. I think I am audible, right? Okay, good morning everybody. Those who have wished us the good morning, a very warm good morning to you guys. Okay. Okay. Today we're going to start the Hindu newspaper analysis. Before I do that, I want to make sure again I want you to convey this information, guys. If you haven't availed this course, avail this course. This is for your betterment. This is for your particular preparation of your current affairs because इसमें हम सिर्फ हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर कवर नहीं कर रहे हैं. वी आर ऑल्सो कवरिंग डाउन टू अर्थ, पीआईबी, योजना, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस एंड एवरीथिंग दैट वी could do in respect of current affairs. We are trying to cover in this particular ignited current affairs course. It just starts after this class is over, that is at 10 a.m. in the morning every from Monday to Saturday. So if you want to avail this course, you can contact on this numbers and have a go or look at the course and you will get to know what different we are trying to give over here in this ignited current affairs batch, right? Okay. Let me start the today topic. Okay. So these were the basic headlines that we had today. I think everyone is aware of this fact that we had a scuffle with China, right? In the Tawang area. I hope everyone is aware of this, that we had a scuffle with China in the Tawang area recently. Just अभी हमारा recently इनके साथ scuffle हुआ है Indian soldiers का, वहाँ के soldiers के साथ, right? So basically, if we talk about Tawang area, which particular area in Tawang district where this particular incident happened was the Yangtze area. Now this thing is very important to understand. This region is Yangtze area. Along with it, you need to understand that before this 2022 incident that happened in Tawang, there was an incident in 2020 as well. I think everyone is aware of the Galwan incidents, right? Can anyone tell me where is Galwan? If you know this, where is Galwan? You can write in the comment box. You can write in the comment box if you know where is Galwan. And before that, in 2017, we had an issue with China in Doklam area. I think now everyone can see in this point, that is the point between Sikkim, that is a part of, let's say, India, China and Bhutan. It is at the tri-junction, this particular area, that is the Doklam Plateau. Now here there has been news coming out that Chinese are making ropeways, very very important. वो वहाँ पे रोपवे रोड्स बना रहे हैं अगर हम बात करें इस Doklam Plateau की. Now this is a very very serious concern because this Doklam Plateau is very very near to this Siliguri corridor. I think everyone could see this. We also call it the chicken neck corridor. Now this is a point of concern of the Chinese activities that have increased in this particular Doklam Plateau after the, let's say, Doklam standoff that we had with the Chinese authorities in 2017. But the recent incident that happened, it has happened in the Yangtze area in the Tawang district of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, one thing we have to understand that if we talk about India and China, we share the border with them. Let's say we have the border with Uttarakhand side, we have the border through Arunachal Pradesh side, and we have the border through, let's say, Ladakh side as well, right? I think everyone knows where is Galwan? Ladakh, yes. Galwan is in Ladakh. Now, this thing is very very interesting that these guys are now making ropeway roads. Now if I dwell more on this topic, let's say the line of actual control is divided into the western part Ladakh, middle Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and eastern Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim sectors. In 2021, China and Bhutan reached an agreement on a 3-step roadmap to resolve their boundary issues, including the Doklam area, after 4 rounds of negotiations that began in 1984. India and China have mutually agreed disputed areas and areas of differing perception along the 3488 kilometer long LAC. Now this thing we have to see that our border is 3488 kilometer long And over this border, there are certain areas where we both sides are, let's say, are having a different opinion. But there are certain areas as well where they have said, India and China, that these are the mutually agreed disputed areas. For example, in eastern Ladakh, there are two mutually agreed disputed areas, Trig Heights and Demchok. Very, very important. दो words हैं, याद रख लो, Trig Heights and Demchok in Ladakh, which are the mutually disputed areas. So if we talk about situation between India and China, it is getting worse. It is not resolving as it should have resolved. The dialogue process is not taking us everywhere. So the time has come to look beyond this dialogue process and seriously increase our surveillance, increase our intelligence along the line of actual control, so that we do not cede away any further more area that we have already given in the 1962 war, that is Aksai Chin, right? So this is the basically theme of this news, particularly what it's trying to convey, right? Okay. There was also another news in the front page where law minister has told to Rajya Sabha that states can also enact laws on uniform civil code. Now this thing is very, very important. There has been let's say instances from where the center is keen to implement this uniform civil code. Now they have said to the states, if they want to implement in their states, they can implement that particular uniform civil code. I think everyone knows that Article 44 of our Constitution helps us to secure uniform civil code, right? Very, very important. Along with it, if you guys know about the concurrent list on which both center and state can make laws, there are provisions in that concurrent list related to intestacy and succession, wills, joint family and partition, marriage and divorce. So as a result, our union law minister has basically said that there is a provision that both center and state can make laws on uniform civil code. Center is very keen on making uniform civil code throughout the country, but if states want, they can also implement uniform civil code. So this is a step in which the government is trying to model its particular let's say future policy related to this uniform civil code, where they have allowed now the states to form or implement uniform civil code. Very, very important. This thing we need to understand, right? ये चीज अगर आपको समझ में आ गई तो आपको बेसिक समझ में आ गया कि actual what the government wants to say, right? Okay. Moving to the next part. This was the basic news that we had on the front page. First was related to this China build ropeway roads, and second was state can enact laws on uniform civil codes. As we always do, we will do the editorial from the, let's say, the e-paper section itself, where we will try to discuss the important points that have come in the editorials, right? Okay. Now, I think everyone is aware of the conflict that is taking place between Maharashtra and Karnataka over the issue of Belgavi area, right? Which was initially known as Belgaum area. Now, there is also a recent demand that is coming from certain villages of Maharashtra that they want to join the bordering Telangana region. Now, this is also getting very, very interesting. There is a certain demand that is coming from the, let's say, from where? From the villages of Maharashtra that border with Telangana, that they want to go where? They want to go into the bordering Telangana. Now, what could be the reasons why people are seeking to go into Telangana? It is because due to the welfare schemes that are being run by the Telangana government. Very, very important. The reason or the primarily reason is the welfare schemes that are being run by the Telangana government. I would tell you the names of certain schemes like Raitu Bandhu, Dalita Bandhu, Raitu Bima, and free power supply to farmers. Now, these are some of the, let's say, luring factors that is resulting in certain villages of Maharashtra creating a demand that they shall be merged into the neighboring Telangana state, which is a Telugu state. Now this is a very interesting news, and we have to see what happens over its the future course of time, because there is a bigger issue that has been now, let's say, involved the center as well. That is the issue of Belgavi area, which is in Karnataka, but Maharashtra wants it to merge with the Maharashtra, right? But there are certain 14 Maharashtra villages that want to merge with the bordering Telangana, right? So this has been the new development that has been taking place in this area of Maharashtra, and we have to see what happens in the future course of time related to this particular area of Maharashtra, because there is now a growing demand of the people, let's say, or the growing aspirations of the people, that they want to go to that area where there is a benefit for them, where there is a welfare schemes that are being implemented for them, right? So this is an interesting news that is developing. So we have to see what other things might develop related to this case, right? Okay. Now, this was a very interesting news. I think everyone knows that China recently has now involved in the scuffle in Indian area. Some say that this is a basic response to the Indo-US military exercise that was by the name of Yudh Abhyas. By the name of Yudh Abhyas, that was taking place in Uttarakhand. So China always sees America as a growing threat to its containment in the Indo-Pacific region, right? So here the Chinese foreign minister is saying there is no word like something called Indo-Pacific. It is only the invention of the US that they want to contain China. As a result, they have formed this Quad alliance, they have formed this Five Eyes intelligence alliance, and they have formed this AUKUS defense pact. AUKUS defense pact is between Australia, UK and US, and Five Eyes intelligence alliances Australia, New Zealand, Canada, USA and UK. So basically China is openly saying that US is the one country that is instigating other countries in order to contain China, because there is nothing such word which they are using like this Indo-Pacific. This is a word that is being particularly used in order to contain China, in order to increase or decrease the increasing influence of the Chinese counterparts or the Chinese activities. So this is a very big development that is coming, because China is trying to push away USA as far as it could due to its basically policies of US, where it wants that there shall be open, inclusive and let's say free security framework Indo-Pacific region, right? So this is a big development that has come, that USA created Indo-Pacific concept to contain China. And you need to know what are the countries in Quad, that are Australia, India, Japan and US, and what is this Five Eyes intelligence alliance, and what is this AUKUS defense pact between Australia, UK and US, right? I hope this point is clear to everyone. Okay. Now, there is an interesting news related to air pollution. We always discuss about particulate matter, stubble burning and else, etc, etc, etc. But there is a new concept that is emerging right now. That concept is the basically of airshed. Let's say, what is this meaning of airshed? Let's say this is a particular water body, this is a particular, let's say, area, this is the air pollutants. The volume over which this air pollutants move from one area to this lake is basically called airshed area. Now this area is basically airshed area, where this air pollutants are moving from this particular area of land to this particular water body. Now this is the problem that this particular article wants to highlight, that let's say this is the area over which we are seeing major pollution, right? So the areas through which this airshed extends, or through which this air pollutants are moving, they have to also undertake certain measures in order to control the volume of air pollutants. Then only overall you can reduce the extent of pollutants. Basically अगर हम बात कर लें PM 2.5 की, तो basic concept of this particular article it wants to convey is the area of airshed. So you must not be confused this problem of airshed, that it is the volume of the air pollutants that they are trying to discuss, right? Okay, let's see at the article. A very, very important fact. India has 6 large airsheds, some of them shared with Pakistan, between which air pollutants move, right? Currently, over 60% of South Asians are exposed to an average of 35 gram per meter cube of PM 2.5. In some parts of Indo-Gangetic plains, this reaches 100 gram per meter cube, nearly 20 times the permissible limit under WHO. अब WHO के अंदर जो permissible limit है regarding particulate matter 2.5, it is 5 gram per meter cube. This thing you have to understand, right? So this is the problem that they are trying to highlight. I have discussed this, the problem of air sheds, and India has a large air sheds, and when the winds move from Pakistan to the eastern sides, let's say towards the Ganga river to the Bangladesh side, then we see this particular problem of air sheds and the volume of this air which has carrying air pollutants, right? I think this is the basic thing that you guys need to understand. Okay, I hope this part is clear to everyone that what is this problem of airshed. Curbing air pollution in India needs effort across South Asia. क्योंकि हमें यहाँ पे बात करी जा रही है, हमें सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया में नहीं उसको सॉल्व करना है. Over the entire airshed area, we have to take measures if we have to control the problem of air pollution. This is the basic theme and the essence of the article, right? Okay. Now, this thing a little bit very interesting, where the Supreme Court has said public servants can be found guilty of graft on circumstantial proof. Very, very important. Now, what this particular news is trying to say, Supreme Court held that demand and acceptance of bribe or illegal gratification by a public servant can be inferred by the court on circumstantial proof. Basically, if the court has to accuse that that person has taken bribe or involved in illegal gratification, that they do not need a solid evidence, they can act on circumstantial evidence as well. This is a very, very big thing that the Supreme Court has said. Basically, why they are doing it? They are doing it in order to remove the evil of corruption. There are very, very strong words that have come from the Supreme Court related to the problem of corruption. You can use in your mains answer as well. Let's see what they have said. Stink of corruption has a pervasive impact on the efficient administration and governance of the country. Corrupt officials have a demoralizing effect on honest public servants. Corruption by public servants has become a gigantic problem. Large-scale corruption retards nation building. Very, very important. Large-scale corruption retards nation building activities, and everyone has to suffer on that account. So this is the thing that you can directly use in your mains answer, and this was the thing that now Supreme Court, if there is any case on bribery on a public servant, it can act on circumstantial proof. I hope this point is clear to everyone. So this was a basic theme of this particular news, where it was trying to highlight the problem of corruption. Very, very important. यहाँ पे वो corruption की problem को highlight कर रहे हैं. And these words can be directly quoted by you if you want to use in your mains answers, right? Okay. Now, this is a very good news that have happened, that India, in the wake of the China-India scuffle, has tested its Agni 5 ballistic missile with 5,000 kilometer range. Very, very important. It has tested with 5,000 kilometer range. It was basically tested in APJ Abdul Kalam Island in Odisha, right? कहाँ पे टेस्ट किया गया था? इसे APJ Abdul Kalam Island in Odisha, and it can bring almost the entire Asia, including northern part of the China and regions in Europe, under its striking range. Now this thing is very, very, we could say, important from a strategic point of view, where we have now developed a certain technology and a defense system where it can attack up to 5,000 kilometer. So this would be a very, very, let's say, a big achievement for India, right? Okay. Okay, let's come to the editorial page. Okay. So this was our editorial page. Let's see. Now this particular article says old pension scheme works as an electoral strategy but is imprudent fiscal policy. I think everyone is now aware of the debate that is going on between old pension scheme and new pension scheme, right? Now the pension scheme that is in now place is new pension scheme. Earlier it was old pension scheme. There have been demands by the certain states as well that they want to implement the old pension scheme, right? That is to giving pension benefits, that is after retirement. But government is saying, the center has strictly denied it, and the government is saying it would put a direct pressure on the, let's say, fiscal burden. It would create fiscal deficit and it would create unnecessary expenditure. So that is basically, if someone announces old pension scheme, it could be a freebie that they want to give in order to win a certain election, but that would put a huge burden on our fiscal health. As a result, it is an imprudent fiscal policy. Prudent का मतलब होता है wise, imprudent का मतलब हो गया unwise. So it is an unwise fiscal policy if we are trying to, let's say, increase or implement the old pension scheme. अगर ओल्ड पेंशन स्कीम लगेगी तो हर महीने आपको पेंशन देनी पड़ेगी. अगर हर महीने आप पेंशन दोगे वो एक्सपेंडिचर में काउंट होगा और वही एक्सपेंडिचर आपका रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर बनेगा. That will be nothing but the revenue expenditure and it would create unnecessary burden on the exchequer. So as a result, this is not a prudent fiscal policy. I hope you guys are with me and are able to understand the basic concept of what is this particular article trying to convey, right? Okay, this by-election is of no use to us. Morocco rode on the hopes of Arabs and Africans almost to the very last. Basically, they are trying to highlight the thing of Morocco reaching the semi-finals, right? Okay. This was a reflection on the fading principle of non-intervention. Now, one thing this article wants to say, nothing much important which is there in this article. Basically, the articles talk about separation of powers between judiciary, executive and legislature. Separation of powers between judiciary, executive and legislature. Now, there has been recently certain words used by our vice president and our president. So, this article tries to highlight what is the stance of our vice president and what is the stance of president related to judiciary that is overreaching its power and coming into the domain of the executive. So, here President has said that there are certain temptations by the judiciary, but Vice President has explicitly said that they are encroaching upon the executive. So, as a result, this particular article wants us to highlight that there is to be maintained the separation of powers between executive, let's say judiciary and legislative. This was a concept that was given by a person by the name of Montesquieu. I think everyone knows its name. Montesquieu was the person जिसने इसके बारे में क्लू दिया था, that is about the separation of powers between executive, legislature and judiciary, right? So this was a particular theme of this article, right? Okay, I think these were the three articles that had come in the today's newspaper. Okay, this RTI Act कुछ ज़्यादा अच्छा कुछ आर्टिकल नहीं था तो कुछ important नहीं है. Dominant electoral performance in the state elections, nothing of our view. This was Indian cinema. Supreme Court to here, nothing important. Important things we have already discussed. Public servants can be found guilty of graft on circumstantial proof. Curbing air pollution in India needs efforts across South Asia. We have already discussed this. Now this news, US created Indo-Pacific concept to contain China. We have discussed this news as well, right? There was nothing in the economics news, and finally we are over with our newspaper, right? So this was our newspaper. I think today's newspaper did not have that much related to articles, but there was one article that was very important related to old pension scheme and the new pension scheme, and you need to know what is the concept that is being explained over there. The concept is about prudent fiscal policy. I hope this point is clear to everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying and are able to understand what the Hindu session is all about. You have to just do an analysis of this Hindu session, right? आपको पता होना चाहिए कि basic concept what it's trying to convey, right? Okay. So this is it for me, guys. We will meet tomorrow same time at 9 a.m. and we would continue our session, and we would love, I would love that we guys grow as an audience, right? Okay, thank you Chetu. It has been a great honor teaching you guys. Thank you so much. Take care, bye bye and enjoy. कोमल मान इसकी हम देते हैं PDF on the Telegram channel. You can see it on the Telegram channel. We have the PDF right there. Yes, you can have the PDF. It would be uploaded on the Telegram page as well. So do join in our Telegram page and you can avail the PDF from there. Yes. Thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow, same time.